been in the kitchen for your intensive. This is actually a masterclass intensive. Some of you are here because you just want to watch me in the kitchen with Coach Shanice prepare some amazing food. So this is actually a masterclass raw food class. So it's a raw food class, but it's also the beginning of the 21-day raw food challenge. So we're not going to start today. We want to give you some time to gather your thoughts, gather your recipes, your ingredients, and those things that you want to have in place so that you can really have a good start. So we're going to officially start day 1 tomorrow. Now, today we are going to be preparing raw food, which means that many of the dishes are going to require a lot of time in the dehydrator. And that's okay, because what I decided to do was to gift you another day. So tomorrow, the same time, same bat time, same bat channel, we're going to be here and we're going to actually show you how the food looks once it comes out of the dehydrator. We're going to have a taste test. I'm sure Denise and Cece, Celeste will be coming over for that. I don't know if they will, but more than likely they want to get that food, trust me. So they may be here for that. But yeah, so we're going to do that food presentation, and I'm going to sit down and have a little conversation with you. So if you have any questions about what you've seen and any questions about anything related to the 21-day challenge, the raw food aspect of you know, what you're going to be doing for 21 days, you can totally, you know, have those questions answered. Let's see what Jacqueline says. Do you have to drink a lot of water? I didn't read the rest of that. Well, regardless to what, you always want to drink as much water as you possibly can. So, you know, just like those of you who've done the detox before, you know how that works. You drink your water when you're doing any type of cleanse. You want to make sure you have your mermaid tea and your water. Coach Shanice discussed all of that today when she was taking you through the juice, but not all of you were there. So, but all of you, I think most all of you have done the detox. So, you know, the water component, the lemon cucumber water, you know, water is fundamental. So without any further ado, I want to bring on Coach Denise, because she's here. She's my sous chef. She's my right-hand girl. She's my beautiful sister from another mister. You know, she's she's my girl, and she is in the kitchen. Here she is, Coach Denise.
All righty. Hey, y'all. Welcome to your Raw Beauty Masterclass. This is going to be amazing, and I'm just putting it in right now. I'm eating some of everything. That's just all there is to it. I'm eating some of it. And I'll probably be back here tomorrow for whatever is going to be in the dehydrator too. But I actually have some stuff dehydrated at home. So if I don't come back, I won't be sad, but I will be back. Come on now, really? All right, I will be back for those. So we're going to be doing some really good breakfast recipes and dessert like things that you can have. I think that's what we start off with, right?
Yeah.
We're starting off with something sweet and light so that we can get this thing started. Right, Coach Carmen?
Yeah.
So I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to rock and roll.
Yes, we are.
All righty.
Let's do this. All right. So the first recipe we're going to start with is in the Raw Food Masterclass book. If you don't have this, you should.
Yeah.
Send it to everybody. Print it out. Look at it on your phone and watch this on your computer, or vice versa, however you want to do it. But it's not necessary. It's not like you're going to be in the kitchen making this with me right now. So it's okay if you don't have it, but you know, make sure you do print it out. Okay, so the cherry banana, the cherry banana chia pudding. So basically we are going to start with 1 cup of chia seeds. Okay, so this is a chia.
Anthony? Yeah. Oh, where
Make
are
sure
you?
this is a cup. Yep, this is 1 cup. So very basic. Just take your 1 cup. We're going to get the other camera set up so that you could see the table. But for now, let me just show you. I'm pouring this in here, 1 cup. One thing about chia, chia is like magical. I don't use that word a lot, but it's amazing how much it swells up. So if you're doing 1 cup of chia, you want to do 4 cups of water. That's how much. But let me just tell you all this. If you need to ask me a question, feel free to unmute yourself, okay? Don't,
Or put the hand raised up.
or put the hand raised up, right? Put your hands raised up. Put your hands
Raise
raised
your
up.
hands up.
Yeah,
Raise your hands up.
do it, okay? So that we can make sure that we answer your questions. So let me see, you're putting this over here. Is that there? Okay, so this is cup number 1. Cup number 2. Cup number 3. Wow, we're like, what? Cup number 4.
It's gonna swell.
All right. What I'm doing is I'm stirring this up. Now, what I love to use are these spatulas. Do you use these silicone spatulas, Denise?
Yes.
Yeah. The silicone spatulas are like the hot diggity dang dang. Oh my gosh. They're so amazing. It really helps you in the kitchen a lot to have these. So get a set of them, different sizes. Okay. All right. So I'm stirring this up. You're like, Coach Carmen, I think you put too much water in here.
No,
Right. That's what it looks like. Right. Looks like I put too much water. What you're going to do is you're going to decide what type of chia pudding you want. Now, this is cherry chocolate. Well, it's not chocolate cherry. It's cherry banana. But you can make any flavor you want, which is great. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add the apples, banana. We're going to do some frozen cherries. I have maca powder here, but that's optional. You don't need that necessarily. We're going to do some Vietnamese cinnamon. You could use any cinnamon, but I personally just love Vietnamese. What you can do is you can grate your apples with a grater, or if you have a nice Cuisinart or any type of food processor. Most of the food processors do carry a blade that allows you to grade. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Get over here. All right.
Oh, you have to switch off this whole thing?
No, let's stick this in here.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to cut up these. And you know what, Denise, you can cut up the apples for me. Oopsie. All right. Let's try that one more time. Okay. But sometimes you get some extra pieces in here. You could just eat those.
Everyone say you can just eat those.
Yeah, you can just eat those. For sure. And if you want to take the skin off, you can. You'll see these. Where's my hand? These pieces of skin. So we'll get rid of that. Because you don't necessarily want to have that skin in there. But you can, if you have good teeth, you can eat that. All right, so then let me get a bowl, another bowl. This bowl right here, yeah. So what I'm going to do is just take the fruit and put it in there. So now that I have this grated, if you have anything else that needs to be grated, then you can grate. But if you don't, then you just go on and put your regular blade back on here. All right. And now I'm going to pour. Look at this.
We're swelled up
Look
already.
how thick this
Look at
is.
that. See?
That's crazy.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody's trying to get in?
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, Vera. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take the banana. Open up that banana. So we're going to take the banana and put that in. We're going to put, did it say raisins? Because
Yes. I
it
think
did.
it said raisins in there.
We have raisins?
Yes.
Okay. So let me grab the raisins. Coach Shanice's gonna give me the raisins, and I'm gonna just take a handful of raisins. Throw 'em in there. Okay, so we have the banana. And you're using these cherries, right, Denise? Are you using all of them?
No,
All right, so I'm gonna take some of these cherries
Is someone else trying to come in?
yes.
and I'll take that. And I'll let the person in. And I'm gonna take some more cherries from the freezer. I think I want some more cherries in there. All right, so I'll just throw in some more cherries. And that's it. So we'll put the top back on it, that top. And we'll get it going.
I'm not gonna add the other.
No, yeah, you could add the other ingredient, yeah, well, the
nuts
cinnamon.
and cinnamon.
Yeah, let's put the cinnamon in there, you're right.
Okay.
So we're gonna put some cinnamon and a little sea salt, because anytime you're making something sweet, you wanna add sea salt. It's amazing how the salt brings out the sweet in a lovely way.
Tell me when.
Okay, just dash. That's good. Perfect. She just put a dash in there. You
And
put the
The
cinnamon?
cinnamon.
Okay, yeah, a couple of dashes. 1, 2, 3.
Slow motion replay.
Okay, all right. So
You want to put the nuts in?
you can if you want to grade them up, but when I do, I'll put the nuts in a little
okay,
later. Like I'll
okay.
start them like sort of like this.
Right.
Denise, I'm gonna have you just pump it up because I got to do this like that.
Okay.
Now, which, yeah,
Pulse.
pulse it. Move your hand here. This is. Yeah.
Maple syrup.
Oh, maple syrup. Okay. Forgot about maple. So we're gonna put the maple syrup in here. Now, again, you see, you can make this any way you want to. You can put more bananas. You can put more of anything in there. So just a little bit.
Do you have to use nuts?
Yeah, but you don't have to. Let's see, a little more.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know you're allergic to nuts, right, Jackie?
Right, I am.
Yeah, so don't put the nuts in
I
there.
thought you
But
said
let's
for
put,
these.
I was, but I'm gonna do the opposite. Put that in. Those nuts. Okay, so I'm gonna take, these aren't nuts. Actually, these are
Seeds.
these are sprouted seeds.
Hold it this way, yeah.
The sprouted seeds, right? Which means they have already been soaked. They're raw. So everything we use is raw. Even our nuts are raw, right? Because you don't want to have them processed. It's going to kill the enzymes. So you want them to be raw. So all of the nuts are going to be raw, right? So I'm just going to chop that up a little bit. Now what you could do is I'm going to move this over here, move this over here. And now what we're going to do is pour this in here.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And
look at
then you could
that.
stir it up,
Nice.
little darling. Where's that?
What was in the base of that bowl?
Apples.
Ah,
With the shredded apples.
Yes. Now the shredded apples. You can stir that up for them, Denise. She's gonna stir it up. Yeah, fold it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's not sweet enough, what I like to do, if my stuff isn't sweet enough, I'll add, because I already have the maple in there, I can do this. I'll add either the vanilla sweet drops or the coconut sweet drops, just a couple of drops. And what's nice about these sweet drops, show them to you, son.
Yeah.
What's nice about the sweet drops is that they're going to add more flavor and they're going to add sweet without raising the glycemic index and without, you know, making you fat, because they don't have any calories. Oh, Minister Yarborough. All right. So now once that's done, now you taste it. Let's see. I'm going to taste a little bit of it on your hand. Taste it.
You know?
Mm. Yeah, it tastes good. I probably would put, oh, you know what I didn't put that I like to put? Pass me the coconut right there. Coconut flakes. How many of y'all like coconut? I like coconut flakes, so I'll put some coconut flakes in there too. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the coconut drops, couple of drops, because this is sweet. And the thing is, these sweet drops do have that aftertaste that stevia has, right? But that's why you mix it with maple or honey also, because you don't have to use as much maple or honey. And this just kicks up the sweet without adding more of the sugar. But if you mix it with with your regular sweeteners, you don't taste that aftertaste. So let me just come over here and grab some little cups and things. So what we're going to do is put them in these little jars, glass mason jars, right? And I like to put them in here because they're just easy to take out of the refrigerator. Yeah, you can put a little more in there. Yeah, so now you have your little snack. This can be breakfast or it can be just a snack. So my tops are somewhere where I can't get to them, but normally you would put your tops on these and just store them in the refrigerator. Yeah, just throw them in there. All right. Okay, so we're going to finish with that. I'm going to have Coach Anise do that on the side here. And so Coach Anise pretty much, she got hold of the overnight oat situation and made it like a thing. And it has become a thing for us. Overnight oats are absolutely amazing. And I'll show you one that's already done. She made, but doesn't that look like some dessert?
So pretty.
And this is actually a meal. You can have this as a meal for sure. And it's just so decadent, so wonderful. So while she's preparing to show you, what I'm going to do is show you how I make the cream. So generally when you're using, when you're making any type of overnight oats and you have the yogurt in there, right? I prefer not to use the yogurt. And if you're doing this like straight up raw vegan, you would not use yogurt unless you're using a non-dairy yogurt. So basically I'm going to be making a non-dairy yogurt with organic coconut milk. Okay, so this is how you can make yogurt with coconut milk. You're doing easy. This is really cool. I love this. So when you get your coconut, your cans of coconut, what you want to do is put them straight in a refrigerator. So you want them to be refrigerated. They have to be refrigerated in order for them to do what you want them to do. And then what you do is you get yourself a bowl. Now there's two ways to do this. You can do it like the quick way, or you can actually turn this into cultures. And you turn it into like yogurt cultures by, let's see. And I think I need to be over here again so you can see, but let me see.
One, the overhead.
Yeah, I just want to show you, see that? So that's how it looks when you take it out of the refrigerator, when it's been in the refrigerator for a long period of time. And you know, like 8 hours or so. So you see, where am I? That, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is scoop this out. Now you see that, all that liquid? I'm gonna take, let me see. I need something to put that liquid in. That's me, a glass.
This?
The clear one. Look, right there, the
This
clear,
one.
yes.
Okay, Richard.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is pour the pour this out. That's coconut water, coconut milk.
Your arm is blocking.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So,
Okay, I opened it, but it's not opening.
okay. So what you're doing is just taking the cream out. All right. So now you have all this beautiful cream. And what you can do with the milk, there's so many things you can do with the milk, the cream, the liquid. And what you can do is just, put it in a smoothie if you like. You can use your food processor again for this, or you can just use your handy dandy NutriBullet,
All right.
right? So I use my NutriBullet a lot. And even though I have the Vitamixer and the other gadgets, I like the NutriBullet because it's just so quick. It's very fast. So what you're doing is you're going to have your coconut cream. Then you're going to add a sweet because it doesn't have any sweetness. This is just coconut, right? So it doesn't have a sweetness. So what you want to do, and get this out too.
Careful, the cap is still attached.
All right, so just dig in there.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, let's put that in here too. Put this on the side for a minute. Let's get this out of here. So if you have a little bit of the liquid in here, it's okay. Get that in there. And so like I was saying, it's not sweet, so you're gonna have to sweeten it. So what we do is just take some maple. You can use some coconut sugar if you want. Oh, what am I doing? Oops. Oopsie.
You want the
Put this
coconut
in
sugar?
here. No, I'm gonna use a,
Maple's right here.
yeah, thank you. I'm gonna use a maple. All right, so.
I'm just curious, if you're only using the coconut cream, can you just buy the coconut cream instead of the coconut milk?
Where would you get coconut cream, plain coconut cream?
They sell it. I've seen it.
It usually, if you're getting plain coconut cream from somewhere, it probably has some preservatives or something, stuff in it. I mean, if you see plain coconut cream, then go for it. But normally, it usually has other things going on in it.
So that was maple.
So that was some maple. And then I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla, stevia. And pretty much that's, so you
That's
can
it.
also, if you want, like say you wanted to make this like strawberry, like a strawberry yogurt, you can add your strawberries into this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I would do that.
So let's see how. Might have to add some liquid in there.
May have to add a little liquid.
Yeah, it looks like it's crying for some liquid. So we'll give it some liquid.
That's it.
Yeah,
Little bit more?
maybe a little more. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. And remember, this is not the bladed one, so it's not acting as good as one with blade. Oh, so sous chef number 2, who's also a photographer for the day and videographer, cleaned the blade for me.
Yay.
So awesome. So like that.
Coming along.
Yeah, it's coming along. And if you want to, you can also add just a tiny bit of salt. All right. That should
Might
do
be
it.
good.
Whose hands are not sticky? Open that. Awesome. Okay,
Oh, look at that.
so
Nice.
now you have, look at that, nice and whippy.
Looks nice and whipped.
Will it taste good? Let's see.
Okay.
It could be a little sweeter, but everything
Mm.
else is sweet. Do you like it like that?
That tastes good.
It doesn't need any more sweet?
Not to me.
It's like whipped cream.
Almost, yeah.
Whipped cream, they said.
Almost.
Well, I, you know,
Yeah, more.
I'm a little, oh, it's sweet too.
Sweet tooth over here.
No, it's sweet too. Oh, and you know what else is awesome? A little bit of lemon. Ah, you know, how I love lemon yogurt. But oh man, a little bit of lemon in this.
Lemon yogurt.
All right, so now I'm gonna leave the rest of this up to Coach Denise. She's gonna make her famous, amazing overnight oats. Yes,
Coach Carmen,
yes.
what was that
Cece?
you made right there? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I said hi, Coach Cece.
Hey, Coach Carmen. I was just wondering, I must have missed something. What exactly did you make that you blended and everything like that when
That
it
was
came
a
out
can
creamy?
of coconut milk.
So what are you going to be using that for?
I'm going to use that to replace the yogurt.
Oh,
the-
so
and the-
that's right. You did say you were making yogurt. So that was that the yogurt?
Yes.
Finished product?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So that's vanilla. And that's when you said you could add strawberries to this to make it your own. That didn't take very long at all.
No, but if you want to really turn it into a true yogurt where it has the cultures in it, then you can put some like
Lactobacillus.
open up. Yes, open one up, a capsule. Or
Mhm.
open up two and put 2 capsules in there
Right.
of the powder,
Yeah.
and then stir it up and leave it overnight.
What those two measurements?
Okay. Very nice. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
They were actually spoon. Oh, here they go.
Okay, so yeah, anyone else has any other questions? We're gonna let you see what Coach Denise is doing. She's making her overnight oats.
What kind of capsule you gonna open up to make it more like a yogurt? Is it a
Oh.
probiotic?
Yeah, probiotic. Yes, a probiotic.
Is there anything else you can use besides the coconut too?
You can make it out of nuts for sure, but you can't eat nuts.
No.
You can't do that.
So,
With the regular Greek yogurt.
yeah, let me think about that. See
Yeah,
what other
because
options.
yogurt's not gonna work either for me, ladies. What can I tell you? You get old, you can't eat anything.
See, I had, I'm sorry, I don't know who was talking, but
That was Jackie.
That was Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, I had a nut allergy for years, they told me. But when I went plant-based, I came to the cooking class, it was a 3-day cooking class with my EpiPen, and I had no reaction. I think when the nuts were cooked or ground up or whatever it was, I didn't get a reaction. And it could have been maybe the pesticides, or maybe because
It's totally the pesticides.
or maybe,
That-
yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that is, that
And
is
Coach
so,
Carmen,
yes.
you know that I always had a nut allergy until I started coming to your house, to your things, your what you're doing today, demonstrations, and started eating organic nuts and no reaction. Unbelievable, Jackie. And
And Vera and Coach Vera,
Vera.
yeah, that's why I was going to tell Coach Vera, definitely that has happened to us so many times, even with fruit, people who could not eat fruit.
Remember
Coach
Carl?
Denise had a client,
Yeah,
Paul,
Carl.
who hadn't eaten like in 20 years or longer. He wasn't able to eat fruit. And after he took the class, the detox class, and he was eating only the organic fruit, well, he tasted it. He was afraid. He tasted a little bit, no problem, tasted more. And the next thing you know, he was able to eat a whole piece of fruit. And then after that,
Making
he became a fruit fanatic like me. So, oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful thing when you can introduce people to food that they hadn't been able to eat in a long time,
Really?
just because it's organic or the way that it's prepared. Usually it's because it's organic. But Jackie, that's another reason why it's so important to stick with the program and clean out your blood, clean out your organs, because once you do, then you'll be able to eat a lot more things that you thought you couldn't eat before. I mean, healthy things.
Amen.
Because it's a curse when we can't eat fruit and we can't eat, certain things that God created. That to me, that's a curse, and it shouldn't be. There's something wrong with that. If somebody says they can't eat any fruit, man, can you imagine? That's like that's not of God. So
Does
that,
she not have a gallbladder or something?
what about her gallbladder?
Jackie, did you have your gallbladder removed or something?
No,
Yes. Okay.
Hmm.
You ready?
You're on.
All righty. Okay. So we are going to be making the Wellness Divas chocolate cherry overnight oats. So I just have regular size mason jars here, right? These are all regular size, 2 regular mouth and 1 wide mouth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding the oats in, and you only want to put it to like a quarter of, why am I not being shown?
This camera. Here.
Oh, you only want to put it to like a quarter of an inch
Mhm.
up in here, maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's it. You don't want to put too much in there. So I'm just going to add the oats.
So what size measuring cup are you using?
I'm just using, I don't know, what is this, a quarter size measuring cup, and I'm just adding the oats in. Normally I take it from a big thing and just pour it in, but
All right, just hold it still and let them look at it for a second, the size.
this is just a regular size mason jar. This is like your everyday mason jar.
Okay,
All right.
awesome.
So I'm just filling it up. I'm gonna add the oats in.
So you're making 3.
I'm gonna make 3.
Okay. 3 for me.
2 for her and 1 for me.
Ah,
She's trying to let me leave up out of here without none.
she's got one in the refrigerator.
That's 1. Okay.
Okay.
And
What kind
then
of oatmeal? What kind of oatmeal?
this is whole oats, rolled oats, organic rolled oats, right? You don't want to use instant, because oats is going to make it very mushy,
Yes.
and you don't want that.
And instant is it's cooked too much.
Yeah, you don't want to do instant. And then once I add that, I like to add in a little bit of cinnamon, because I layer it with cinnamon, but I like to add cinnamon in it. So I'm just going to put a couple of sprinkles of cinnamon in each. And then we're going to start adding nuts. So these are the what are these, the pumpkin seeds, right?
The soaked.
The soaked pumpkin
Don't put too
seeds.
many in mine.
Oh, sorry. Late. And some ground up nuts. These are just regular nuts. Chia.
Chia. So you're okay with the chia and your overnight oats?
Yeah, and the overnight oats, it doesn't do that to me.
Do you need a knife
A knife?
to cut up
The
the?
banana, yes. And then I'm going to add in the cacao powder. So you could put a pretty good amount in there, because we like them chocolatey.
Oh yeah.
So we add it in.
this is overnight oats, guys.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All righty, and then gonna slice up some
You got to
dates.
take the
Oops,
pit
I
out of
meant
it.
ladies.
Yeah, so we're gonna slice up some dates here, and we're gonna add those in.
Take the pit out.
Yeah, that one, you did this one already. Yeah, take the
No,
pits
I
out.
don't
If your dates are pitted, you want to take the pits
Yeah,
out.
and
Oh, I
medjool
love
dates.
dates.
These are
Medjool dates are
so
usually
they have
pitted.
pits.
Mhm.
And then we just slice them up, right? And add them in.
Slice them up and
Slice
add them
them up
in.
and add them in.
Awesome.
And these are coconut date rolls too, which I'm like curious to try, because I've never used it.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
like
gonna
the coconut
actually
date roast. too.
Use it. So we're gonna put some of those in also.
So that helps them sweeten it up too.
Yeah, this is a good sweetener for the oats.
Yeah.
So once we get all of that in,
Amen.
we're gonna stir them up. Okay, so we stir everything up, right? So I'm just stirring it all up right there, making sure everything is,
Ah, so that's a good tip.
yep. You
The
wanna
stirring
stir it
up.
all up.
Because I used to make it with the oats at the bottom. And then by the time I ate down to the bottom, I didn't want it anymore.
There's
Because
nothing else is in there.
it wasn't sweet and chocolatey anymore.
Yeah, so what you do now is you add the maple syrup in there now.
Ah,
So you pour in the maple syrup,
uh-huh.
right? You pour some in
This is some secret sauce
like
here.
that. Pour that in there. And that way the sweet is all the way to the bottom. Okay. And now we're ready to add the milk.
Awesome. When did you add the bananas?
The bananas come after we add the milk.
Oh, see, there's a formula here.
See?
Mhm.
So here we go. So now what we want to do is we want to add the milk into just covering the oats. Like you don't want it to be soupy.
Ah,
So we're just gonna just barely cover them. See that?
wow.
And we're gonna stir again after that. Like we're gonna put the milk in, just covering up. And with the chocolate, because we're adding the chocolate powder, you're gonna need a little bit of extra milk in there. So I'm just,
What kind of milk is that?
this is dark chocolate almond milk.
Thank you.
And then once again,
You're welcome.
I'm gonna stir it up. So I'm just
Stir
stirring it.
it up.
So now
little
everything is getting
darling.
all mixed up
Stir it
in
up.
here, right? Thank you, Coach Carmen. And you want to make sure you stir all the way to the bottom because sometimes the chocolate powder can get
Ah.
caught down there. And you want to make sure that it's all blended in. So
Okay.
stir it up well.
Yep.
Make sure it's all blended in. Like that. Thank you, Coach Carmen.
I'll serve that one. You
Yes.
start the other process.
Now, once these are stirred up,
Mhm.
then we add the bananas. We put the bananas right there on top.
Wow.
Now, if you really wanted to go in, you could put some peanut butter on top of these bananas. Sometimes I
See,
do that.
I would put, I don't like peanut butter, but I would put tahini or what's that other butter I love? Sunflower seed.
Sunflower seed butter.
Ooh,
But
I
the yogurt
love
goes
that.
here, no yogurt?
What?
Oh, we didn't get to the
No,
yogurt
no,
yet.
these are the bananas. We're adding the bananas now. But I was saying that sometimes when I make these, I like to add, I call it peanut butter surprise because when I make a lot, I never know which one has the peanut butter in it.
Oh,
But so, with the chocolate, it works really well.
so yeah, that's a good question. When do you put the creamy stuff in there?
It's coming.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. I need to rinse my hands off for a second. Quick
Close it,
second.
close it. All right, so you can't mess with perfection, I guess.
All right. So we have our bananas in here.
Oh, we didn't even put the cherries in there yet.
We're going to put the cherries in there.
Okay,
You got to relax, relate.
you hear? I'm like getting hyper about this. It's
So now we're going into the yogurt and
Yeah.
granola and
So these are
the
like two separate layers here.
cherries.
Is that what
Now
it
we are ready.
is?
Yes. Now you can do this any way you want.
Do it any way you
You
wanna
wanna
do it. Do it any way you wanna.
I like to cut the cherries up a little bit. Like
Oh,
I'll just like slice a few of them here
oh, okay.
and release.
I should have done that for you.
Remember that? I didn't think about it, but it's all good. I'm just gonna slice up some of them. Plus, we want to
Yeah,
make
please.
sure we have enough to go around.
That's not here.
We
Okay.
wanna have enough to go around for all of them.
Yeah, because I like the cherries.
Yeah.
Okay,
And sometimes I'll put cherries and strawberries. in.
strawberries.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do it like that too.
so we're gonna tell you
And I'll
how we
add
make these so
blueberries.
juicy.
Yes. Because these are very juicy and we're gonna add this juice into the
Yes.
oats too.
So one of the secrets that I have for making my berries juicy is I buy the frozen berries and then put them in like a small Pyrex and put them in the oven for about 375 degrees for about
5 minutes.
7 minutes
Mhm.
tops. When the strawberries take longer, so about 7 minutes maybe for the strawberries.
Mhm.
But be careful
Yeah,
that
'cause
you're
you don't
not
wanna
cooking
cook
them.
'em. Yeah,
They should still have some frozenness in them somewhere.
right.
But then you let them sit on the counter and they will just
Make that
make
sauce.
the juice. Oh my gosh, it's such a great way. Because if you just put frozen strawberries and berries in here, You know, it's gonna take a while to break down, but when it breaks down, it's not as
Amazing.
juicy
All
as
right,
this.
so now we are ready to add our yogurt. So first layer is we're going to add a spoonful of yogurt right there on all of them.
Oh,
Gonna add it in. Okay. So we're just adding in the yogurt right here. And then we're going to grab some cherries. So I'm just gonna make sure, and I wanna make sure you got that juice in there so that it could go down in there like that. But this is the first layer, so you don't need as much juice because you want it to show inside there. So here we go with the second, right there. And then we're gonna add some granola.
if somebody has a question, let me go over there.
Okay. So it's looking good already. Like
I love them.
sometimes we don't even want to wait for the 4 hours that you need to wait to eat them, but it won't be that great if you don't wait. All right, so that's the first layer, and then I'm gonna add some more cinnamon.
Okay. put my glass.
All right. I like a lot of cinnamon in mine.
This is one version of overnight oats.
Okay.
When
And
you
if you
can add
want-
or subtract whatever you like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you want, you could add some more nuts in here. Like sometimes I'll layer it with the nuts again. And then we're ready for our second layer of yogurt. Here we go. There it is.
So I think this is Cece. She says, because she makes her yogurt, her overnight oats differently, but she's saying that her favorite overnight oats are just oats,
Okay.
organic and rolled and naturally gluten-free. Sit overnight
that.
in water or almond milk in the fridge with cinnamon, then add organic fresh blueberries, banana slices
Mm.
the next day. But- yeah,
Tell
so I was
me
telling
about it.
Coach Tsitsi, she was here earlier today. Hi, Auntie Joyce, Minister Yarborough.
See that?
Ooh, she's here.
See now it's going down the side
Like
That's-
that cherry juice.
like that. Look at that. That's what you want.
So I was telling Coach Tsitsi that I
That's what
I
you-
like to have
you
my
could've- you could have used a little bit
overnight
more,
oats more decadent, looking like
but it's good.
like some type of parfait.
That looks amazing.
It does. Oh, now you're putting the chocolate.
Yeah, this is the second layer, and
The-
which looks like
Yeah.
that's all we need.
Yep, and that's the
That's
chocolate.
granola? What is that?
No,
Yeah,
that's
this is granola,
it's Love
chocolate
Crunch.
granola.
Chocolate Love Crunch.
All right, and then we're gonna do one last little layer of the nuts right here.
Don't give me nuts.
Ooh, I
Okay.
think I did already.
All right. I'll
We
have
don't
Anthony
like
eat
them.
them.
And then last little bit of cinnamon. And guess what? These are done.
Mm.
And this is how they look. This is how it looks. See, you can see the cherries in there. You can see the little juice cascading down the side. And then the beautiful chocolatiness down below.
Nice close up.
Yes.
All right.
So
This
now you got
that one's
everything in
mine.
there. You have everything in there.
this one's
now.
mine.
And this one is, I guess, is mine.
This one,
Is mine.
oh boy.
You see what you
That's the
see?
one that got the nuts in it?
I think they all do.
Mercy. That's a lot.
I don't care about the nuts now. I want them all.
You're not gonna cover those up?
I gotta go in there to get through that. so,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll cover them up later.
All right, so that's your chocolate cherry overnight oats, everyone. But you know, you can make your overnight oats with whatever you want in
Yeah.
them.
Yes,
That just happens to be something that I love, the
Yeah.
chocolate cherry.
yes, totally. Do your own
Do
thing,
your own thing,
whatever it
whatever
is,
it is.
do your thing. Just don't hurt nobody.
Don't hurt nobody.
That's right. All right, so I'm trying to find room in the refrigerator for this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to show you, and the good thing is, everything's in your book, so
Yeah.
you can make them on your own, no worries. So I was going to
Which
do the
stuff
blueberry muffins, but I'm gonna pass on those because we have two nice breakfast and snack meals. So we're gonna go into one of Celeste's favorites is fettuccine Alfredo.
Mm.
But I'm thinking we better get that pizza going first. And then we can go back to that. So we're gonna be working on this pizza.
Anthony.
All right. So for the pizza, we are going to need, it's going to be a few steps. Thank you so much. Okay, so what I want to do is just get the crust going. Yeah. Okay, so the crust is going to be very interesting because I'm making the crust mostly out of zucchini. So where's my zucchini? So this zucchini came out of our garden.
Awesome.
So these are
This one.
called Tyson peelers. And you can get them from Amazon.
Anthony.
But this one will make you the nicest noodles. And this one is just for peeling, right? So we're just gonna peel this.
Wow, that's a beautiful one. Look at that.
That's a beautiful zucchini, girl.
Isn't it? Oh
Ah.
my goodness, that is beautiful.
Amen.
I growed it with my own hands.
You growed it with your own hands.
Yep, these came from seeds that we started in the, but you have to be
House.
careful with these blades.
Yeah,
They are sharp.
it's very sharp.
Yeah, you have to be extremely careful.
Slippery little thing, isn't it?
I don't even know why they didn't make them a little more protective, to be honest with you, because you can cut yourself like,
Big time.
yeah, you can. So, bam. All right, so what I'm going to do is get my knife. Thank you so much, sous chef. You are awesome. Photographer. All right, so now how many of you have your nice spiralizer? Y'all using your spiralizers? Should be using your spiralizer.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Look
is.
at that. There it is. Look at all that beautiful zucchini pasta coming out of there.
And you know, we're gonna, where am I? We're gonna use this.
You can use that in your soup. You can
Yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah.
That
Right,
was
so-
beautiful. Look at that.
All right.
Gorgeous.
So what we're gonna do, because we're gonna use this, believe it or not, to make the crust. So I'm gonna use the other real stringy stuff as well. And I'm gonna have Coach Denise go on and prepare another zucchini. So she's gonna prepare that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this up. So when I'm making, if I'm making like a pasta and I want small pieces, this is what I do. I just cut it up. And I can put this in my soup and make like small little noodles in my raw vegan soup.
Yes. Soup is awesome.
Yes. So let's chop this up.
That certainly does look like spaghetti.
Yes.
And you know, it tastes like spaghetti because really and truly, does
You
spaghetti,
put sauce on it.
right.
you
Does it
can't
really
tell the
have
difference.
taste?
Yeah.
Spaghetti doesn't
no,
really have taste.
No, it doesn't. You don't know the difference.
Pretty much semolina has just water and flour. So we're getting fat and bloated and having all these different digestive issues for some flour and water. When you think about it, it's
Mhm.
like, wait, why? Why am I doing this to myself? I'm looking forward. So she's gonna spiralize the
I
other.
spiralize it.
She's gonna spiralize it. All right, so we're gonna put this in.
That up there.
This needs to be clean. There. All right, so we're gonna take this. Now, you are going to need a NutriBullet. You're going to need a food processor, and you will need eventually a raw food oven, which is the dehydrator. You can really make a lot of this stuff and put it in your oven down the lowest you can get your oven, and like kind of keep the oven open. You can do that. The main thing is you don't want your food to be heated over 115, 118, really, 118 degrees. Once it's heated over 118 degrees, what happens is you start to kill the enzymes. Coach Reese, I'm gonna have you chop this for me when you get a chance. And I'm gonna go into the other stuff. All right, so the next thing we have to do, we have to add. Oh yeah, I wanted to make those these bars too, but let's see. Where are we? Okay, so because it says here 4 zucchinis. So, but we'll make a small, we'll just make one small pizza for now. Okay, so now we need a 1/2 cup of flax meal. Now, the thing is with the flax meal, you can buy flax meal, paper towel, please. You can buy flax meal, but you're really better off just using flax seeds and grinding them in a coffee grinder or in your NutriBullet. Where's my flax seeds?
What did you guys call this meal again?
This is gonna be pizza.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sugar.
I was gonna say it's looking awfully good.
Ah, oh, that's good. No, you don't have to go any more than that. That's great. Okay, really? That's good. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, I gotta get to my flax seeds, but in the meantime,
You see them?
yeah, I'm not gonna use them. In the meantime, I'm going to use the flax meal. Only because I'm gonna use the flax meal only because I don't want to, see? I don't want to go all the way over there to get my flax seeds. But of course, it's organic. Here's the thing with the flax meal though. The issue with the flax meal is that you already broken open the shell of the flax seed, which means that it's going to oxidize. And when it oxidizes, you're going to start losing the nutrients. Let's move some of this out of the way. You're going to lose the nutrients. And you don't want to lose the nutrients. So if you buy flax seeds and then you grind them yourself, you're going to have a lot more of the nutrients, right? So that's basically how that works. So I'm looking for 1/2 cup. That's 1/3. 1/2 cup, okay, of flax. And then I'm going to need a 1/2 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And I need some onions. Okay, so my sun-dried tomatoes. That's my sun-dried tomatoes right there.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, so it's a 1/2 cup.
Wait, I'm putting my glasses on so I can read.
Ah,
Okay, yeah, a 1/2 cup of sun-dried tomatoes.
okay. So I would say that's about a 1/2 cup. All righty. And what else?
1.5 cup of onion.
Sweet onions, okay. I love Vidalia onions, sweet onions. They're not that easy to find organic. And I'm gonna need to set up my food processor again. In fact, I might as well just put this into the food processor right quick. How many of you ever made pizza crust? You know it's easy to make pizza crust and so much healthier. Oh, thank you. Okay, so that top. Thank you. All right, here we go.
The other part.
All righty, so we're going to put this in there. Put those in there. I'm gonna put some
Onion.
onion and the garlic. Can you start putting the garlic powder and the onion powder in there, Miss Denise?
Where's the onion powder? Put powder.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so sea salt, a little bit of maple syrup, because you know we like to put a little sweet in everything, and that's because all of your flavors need to be alive, which means you want salty, you want sweet, you want savory, you want bitter, you want everything in there. That's good.
Same thing for the onion?
Yeah, maybe even a little less than what we just did before. That's great. Okay. Did we put the salt? Put a little sea salt in. Just put honey, the maple, put in there, and get that in onion.
Sea salt.
Do the onion. Hold up the onion. Anybody has any questions while we're going?
I'm gonna go into. see if anything new pops up.
Nope, no questions.
Okay. All right. Coach Denise is checking.
Oh, someone's asking about soup in the jar.
Ah, who knows about the soup in a jar? Who asked about the soup in a jar?
I think it was the last.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's about it.
Okay, so my top. Here it is. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up. Turn it on.
Slip on that. Yeah.
Okay. Coach Liz, is that, okay,
Good.
yeah, you can run it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to take this out. And now we're gonna add most of the zucchini, but we're gonna save some of it, and you'll see why later. But we're gonna put most of the zucchini in here. I see a seed. I think that's good. All righty, we're gonna, yep. Turn this on just again. 1 second. Okay, there you go. All right, I think we did put the salt, right?
Yeah.
So where's that spatula? Because you're gonna need to wipe the sides down. Use a small one. Yeah, that's great. And I think, let's see, we did the sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
How's the texture? Okay. Definitely doesn't need any more moisture. It feels moist.
Yeah, it looks moist. Definitely does.
Yeah, in fact, I may have to put a little more flour on it, in it. So run that, and I think I'm going to put, and this is where you start to get creative. I think I'm going to put some nutritional yeast in there. See, I start thinking, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should put a little nutritional yeast in there. Yeah. Okay, so, and I think I'm gonna need another flour because it looks kind of a little, I mean, it's gonna dehydrate and it needs to be blended really, really good. So let me just put a little bit of almond flour. I have my almond
Oh, you
flour.
have it out already.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Okay. Let's just sprinkle some almond flour in there. Let's use one of these, safer. This is safer. Okay, so if any of you have a pencil and a notepad, just write down that I'm adding, what is this? A quarter cup of almond flour. All righty. Yeah. Plus, you need I'll give you one of these trays. Stuff in there. Okay, so you can blend that. Thank you. Oops, yeah, I pulled it out. Oh, Coach, just open that for a second. I'm gonna put a few more. Let's put this in there too. So these are the pieces that, the little wieners. We're gonna put the little wieners in there. We don't want to waste nothing. Okay, let's get that going. Now you can just leave it and let it run.
How do you let it run?
This one.
Oh.
All right. So we're gonna get a bowl. Yeah, just use this, so if you need to throw anything on it. you can just put it on. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna need some trays. And what happened to that bowl? Oh, that's too big. You can use this bowl. All right. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Pull that. All right. Does it look smooth?
It's getting there.
Does it need to be stirred a little more? Like anything on the sides? You want to make sure you get the stuff off the sides. Yeah, you can do that. Get the sides. See what it's looking like. And if it has some texture, that's okay. Because we're going to give it even more texture in a minute.
Okay, so you added something else in here?
No, that's
So just
good.
blend it a little more?
Just blend it a little more. We got the sweet, we have the salt, we have the spices. So we're good. And if you want, you can also like throw in some basil if you want, but we're gonna do it kind of traditional-ish. All right, that's good, cousin. All right, so we're going to take that and put it in this container. Wow, we got some chia seeds. Get this chia out of here. Get this chia out of here. Okay, so get that, scoop that out. You can drop the bowl.
I got it.
Okay,
I got you. I got
all right, okay. Move this out of the way. Boy. Put it over so they can see what you're doing. Okay. All right. All right, that looks good. So now what we're going to actually do is we're going to put this in there. Yep, I did it. I done did it.
You done did it.
Okay. Get the rest. You can start stirring that. I'll get the rest of it. Where's the other small?
Small spatula. The small.
Here it is. I got it. Right. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're giving this pizza crust some texture, but it's all gonna, like in the dehydrator, you're gonna see tomorrow, you'll see what it looks like. Right now, it's like, what? It almost looks like peanut butter, right? The texture. It's kind of,
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of tuna also.
oh my gosh. It's whatever you want it to be. Use your imagination.
I know it probably smells really good too.
Really got to use my imagination. You know, that song was really so powerful and still is today. We never even thought about it, but how powerful the imagination is and how, we are supposed to use our imagination in order to create our future. And Miss Gladys, she was like right on point with that. I really got to use my imagination. Have a good reason to keep on keeping on. Right. So she had to think about positive reasons to keep on keeping on. She had to make the best of a bad situation. You hear what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
We hear what you're saying.
All right. Amen. All right. Okay, so now we're going to make our little pizzas, crust-ish. And okay, so we're
You want
gonna,
the big one instead?
it doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some mini pizzas.
Oh.
So we'll make like 4 mini pizzas here,
Mm-mm.
right? So basically, you're just gonna make this round and flat.
Mm-mm.
4 mini pizzas.
4 mini pizzas.
Nope. I'm not coming in.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
so when are y'all coming over tomorrow? Y'all, who's flying in? Who's flying in tomorrow? I don't hear nobody's.
They got
Like-
the big
Look at you
bag.
You're like,
cool. I'm not going to.
I don't know about flying in, Coach. The food looks good, but it don't look that good. It really cost me $500, $600, $800.
$100 if flying and get us a piece of pie. Pizza pie.
Right, so
So how
basically,
thick are we making it? Like
so like a quarter of an inch
quarter of an
thick.
inch thick? Okay.
Yeah, because it's gonna flatten out a lot.
Now,
Right?
when they start dehydrating, are they gonna spread?
No, that's a good question. Dehydrated foods don't spread because, why do you think it doesn't spread? Who knows? Who are the bakers up in here?
I'm guessing
Yeah.
because they ain't got no flour in it.
Right, and it doesn't have any leavening agent. So it doesn't have baking soda, baking flour.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
I ain't coming in.
Yeah, no yeast.
How's this look?
It looks beautiful. Yeah, it looks good. We just flatten it up a little more, but that's great. Do that one. All right. So we're gonna, yeah, this actually, we can make a big one out of this. A lot going
Because
on.
there's a
here.
lot in that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna have Coach Denise finish doing that piece over here. Move this out the way. Notice you like watching her make those circles. I'm gonna clean that thing off there. But all right, so move this out of the way. And now we're gonna talk about the cheese, if you please.
Cheese on that.
Okay, so you know, you gotta have some cheese in your pizza, on your pizza, right? So for the cheese, we're going to be we're gonna use actually with my book. There's a lot of different ways you can make raw cheese. Lots of different ways you can make it. But I think maybe we better do this. I'm gonna have Coach Denise do the sauce and I'm gonna do the cheese. And we are, yeah. So let me just move this out a little more. Cause see, I'm a little, I don't like that term anal, but with a particular, well,
Yeah, that's
well,
a better
she's particular too. I don't want to say she's not particular, but as an artist, you know, I'm looking for my, oh, where's this? As an artist, I like everything like symmetric and smooth, and plus this is a better utensil. I should have given that to you. See how much smoother this thing is. I like this. See how see something like this, or a what do you call those knives? They use them in baking. Oh shoot, it just went out of my head. Yeah, it's a pastry knife. It's a specific name for it. Offset spatula. So you can use an offset spatula if you like.
What are we using the onion for?
Okay, the onion we can get rid of. Go on your eye.
No, I was just wondering what we were making it.
Oh, actually, I already cut one. I had already cut it on it. That's great. So, Miss Coach Denise, can you look into what we need for the sauce? let's work on the
4 sun-dried tomatoes.
work on the pasta sauce. Sorry.
We need a bowl.
Okay, turn around. Use that one behind you. Hi, Ann. Hi, good. How are you? Good. Are you at home? Oh, okay. I'll call you. Let me call you back because I'm in the middle of my class. Yeah, we're zooming it right now. But all right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. All right, so
Is this bowl good enough?
it's kind of small, but it's for now, it's good. Here, it's a bigger. All right, so what are they? Let's talk about what's in there.
So
Supposed
in
to
the
ask.
sauce, we have 4 sun-dried tomatoes or a half cup of dehydrated tomato slices.
All right. So,
4 sun-dried tomatoes. You have sun-dried tomatoes here.
yeah,
right?
right here, sun-dried tomatoes.
Is this considered one?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, and 4.
okay.
Then we need 3 ripe organic tomatoes.
All right, 3.
3 ripe tomatoes. Are those the 3 ripe tomatoes?
Where you see, you see
Oh, no,
tomatoes?
those are peppers. My bad.
Well, let's use this big one.
Whoa, that's a beauty.
Yeah, oh, we need to clean it real
That's
quick.
a beauty.
All right, we'll come see
2 to 3 dates, pitted and unsoaked. I can handle that right now.
Okay. And so this is the pasta sauce. Now, this is the sauce for the pizza, but you can also use it to make your raw pasta. Right? So you can use it for both. So I'm just making this nice and round and even. Beautiful. So you need a cutting, you need this. Can you see Coach Liz? Oh,
We got the dates going on here.
okay, here's the knife. And you know what? Why don't we just put it all in here? I wish I had another extension for this thing. Here, Coach Liz, let me put,
So I'm using this whole tomato.
yeah, because you said how many tomatoes?
3
You said 3 tomatoes. So-
ripe organic tomatoes.
all right, so then that
So
one,
the whole thing.
yeah. That one should do it. So ladies, I'm gonna put these pizza crusts in the dehydrator. Only thing is, the dehydrator is loud. You know. And
Let's have some
that's a problem.
on it.
That's a I should have taken the dehydrator out and put it in the living room or something. Cause it's kind of loud. And I don't know if it's gonna disrupt the flow of things, so we'll see. We'll see. That smells so good. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So what, if any of you have the recipes, what recipe are you gonna start with? Talk to us.
You need to unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. Act like you're in the kitchen with us. Don't be strangers. Don't be strangers. You see,
I'm
I'm just,
liking those overnight oats myself.
I hear you. So you'll be making them without the cream.
Yes, I'll work out whatever I'm gonna throw in there, but because I can't use the coconut and I can't do dairy so well.
Right.
As I said, you can't eat a
They
thing,
have
but
non-dairy yogurt in the stores because I've seen it. They make the yogurt with almond milk or something like that.
But she can't have the
can't have
nuts.
almond milk either.
You can't have almond milk either?
no, because those are nuts.
Right. Because some people can eat
Some people can do
things
the
one
almond
way,
milk, but they can't
right,
have the actual nut.
right.
But I don't know. They might. You have to look at the labels to see what they use to make the non-dairy.
Well, folks, I'm one of those folks. I don't want to press my luck.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't, allergic reactions, no, I don't want that at all.
No, you just read the directions. I mean,
Can I
and
use the rest of this?
yes, read and see what's in the non-dairy. Because the only thing is, lots of times when they prepare, when they sell these non-dairy items, they put so many chemicals in them.
Yes, they do. They put a lot of stuff in it.
That's
You know what?
that's the only problem. Yeah, go ahead. You can wing it.
Pour it in.
And you know,
Yeah, but
I'd rather
what's
make the overnight oats without that being in there at all, so I won't have to, I'll put that good oats, the dates, and whatever else I can throw in there.
Right. Definitely. Blades in there. Yeah. Okay, so I think this looks pretty enough.
All of this going in here?
Yeah. It's,
They are pretty.
okay, they're looking pretty enough. Ladies, does this look pretty enough? You liking this?
It looks pretty.
Yes, they look lovely.
Thank you. Thank you, sweet Jackie.
That's good looking.
We miss you.
Okay.
I thought for a second you were gonna pop it in the oven. That's what I was thinking you were gonna say, but I forgot this is raw.
Right. I know, ready to,
Because I
I
can just
know,
eat those if you put them in the oven. I'll be happy with those.
Oh,
I know.
forgot
You don't have to put anything on them. I'll just take those as they are.
No, I forgot to put it in here.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Any recommendations for a food dehydrator?
Yeah, well, you can go on my website.
Okay.
Oh, go on my website and click on shop,
Uh-huh.
and then it says it's a shop, and go down to my favorite things, and you'll see all of my Amazon choices.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got oregano up here anywhere?
oregano.
Yeah, that's some oregano.
I think I have some over here, but I definitely want to use some of my. I definitely want to use some of my
All you gotta use is fresh.
my
Yes.
basil. This is from the garden. Use some of this in here for sure. Some fresh basil. Yeah,
Yeah.
was this rinsed? Okay, let me just rinse it right quick. I mean, I don't mind.
Hey.
Probably okay from the garden, but yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's see what happens. I'm curious to see how thick this is.
Oh,
Because-
this is asking for cinnamon. Really?
A dash.
Okay, so
That's
a
one of my
pinch of
secret-
cayenne. Where's the cayenne?
I don't bother with it. But does it say anything about, because usually I also, in this recipe, did I add the red pepper?
I don't see it.
All right, I'm gonna put a little red pepper in there. See, you write that down. I put some red
A
pepper.
dash of cinnamon?
Yeah, a little dash. That's good. More than enough. Perfect. All right,
You good?
I think we're good. Where's the top?
Right there.
Oh. All right,
Wow, I can actually smell that.
that's great. What is Bolshabuki?
Honey,
What the Fahazi?
oh, honey. Boy, that's good. Oh my
I
goodness.
think it's a little too watery. I think it needs some more thickness.
What shall we use?
So what we're gonna do to
So we're
give
going
it
to
more
put
thickness. Some more sun-dried tomatoes in here, for sure. The sun-dried tomatoes tend to make things thick. Now, what's she wants to taste it. What's also nice though is that we have thickening agents. That's really great. Like we have psyllium husk that you can use to thicken anything. Uh-oh, Denise is dancing. She's prancing. Did we put enough date? Did we put dates in here? We just put
We put maple syrup.
maple syrup. Okay. All right. So can you see? I'm all in the way. Sorry. This is what it's looking like. All right, I just want to get a spoon here so you can see. See it?
Boy,
All right, so we're gonna have to taste it.
it's thicker now.
Mm. Oh yeah, it tastes good.
That looks good. And it's got a little kick in it too.
It does. What's kicking it?
No, but it's good.
Mm.
Oh,
Ah, I mean, I personally would like to thicken it up a little bit. So I'm thinking, what do you think I should use to thicken it? I can actually use something that's gonna probably freak y'all out. Let me show it to you. Where is it? Find a nice long piece. I can't find a nice long piece. They're all like crumbled up. Oh shoot. Let's see. Can you see this?
what's that?
Somebody's asking what it
Ah,
is.
who asked what it was?
Tasha,
Tasha. Okay, Tasha, you would know. Tasha, what do you think it is?
CMOS.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exactly what it is. Sea moss. I'm gonna put a little sea moss in here to thicken it. Because you know, sea moss is just so good for you, right? Anytime you can put sea moss, a little more. Anytime you can put sea moss in anything, put it in there. Okay. Because not only is it a thickener, you know, it turns things, it gelatinizes anything, so you can make desserts with it. All right, and then we'll put that in this bowl.
Someone's coming in.
Okay. Oh, what much? I forgot. I need to let them in. All right, that's good, Coach Denise. I think we got it. I think we're there.
So add it to this bowl.
Add it to that bowl. All right.
I'll take it off, but I'm just-
All right. Now I like that texture now. Turn it this way so they could see. Oops. Okay, you see how it got thicker? See that? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, see, it got thicker because of the little bit of sea moss. Let's just move it over here so they can see it. And that's what I want. I wanted it to come together. It had too much like wateriness. It was good, but it had a little wateriness. But we want it to be more like a tomato paste. Not a paste, but you know, like a nice
Like a
thick
thick
tomato
tomato
sauce.
sauce.
Right.
Pizza sauce.
Yeah, like a pizza sauce. But you can also use this for your noodles, you know, your pasta noodles.
One more hour left.
Okay. Now, of course, you're gonna have to come back tomorrow to see it completed, the pizza completed, because we have to put it in the dehydrator. All right. Okay, so the next thing is the cheese. Coach Denise, can you start reading off the ingredients for the cheese? You could throw that in.
All right, so.
How long it has to stay in the, how long does it
Yeah,
stay in the
that's
dehydrator?
That's a good question. Probably like 4 hours. And then I turn it over. Because we're talking about the crust. So 4
Yes.
hours, and then we turn it over and give it another 4 hours. So it may take about 8
Okay.
hours. What are you looking She's gonna read to you the ingredients.
So you have 2 cups of raw cashews unsoaked, 1 cup of sea moss gel, 1 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, which is over there.
Okay, and I have one open over, no, I don't know if it's enough. Okay,
Definitely not enough.
all right. No problem.
And you have sea salt,
Sea
Celtic sea salt or Himalayan.
Okay.
What is it? Oh, that's just regular sea salt.
Him, I better not be laying. He better get up and do something. Okay, so we need the nuts. Now, here's the deal with the nuts. They have not been soaked.
It's unsoaked, it's cold.
Oh, right. I don't need to soak them.
You need to soak them.
All right, how many?
2 cups.
Okay. So 2 cups of cashews. Yep. What's next?
Okay, 1 cup of sea moss bread.
Okay, so the sea moss. It took me a while to clean the sea moss. 1 cup?
1 cup.
Okay, so you see the sea moss? You see it?
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
I know. It looks kind of weird, don't
Yeah,
it?
I do.
Where do you get the sea moss from?
I just got it from Amazon. But there's places, it's African shops. African shops on Staten Island that has it. What else we got in there?
A cup of water.
1 cup of water. And what else?
A 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast.
Okay, can you grab the nutritional yeast? Oh, you can't reach it. Can you reach it? All right, 1/4 cup?
Yeah, 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast.
Wow, 1 cup of water? That's a lot of water. We'll see. Okay, and if you think something is too much, start small. Yeah, use less. And then see what happens. See if you need more. Yeah,
Definitely fast.
that's about 1/4 cup. That's about 1/4 cup. What's next?
1 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt or Himalayan
Salt.
salt. You gonna use it?
I'll use this.
This one?
I got this. And what else? Pass me whatever it is.
Okay, where's the raw honey? You need the raw honey.
Honey, right here. It ain't raw, but we're gonna work with it.
All right,
How much?
a tablespoon,
Tablespoon there.
a tablespoon of cold pressed olive oil.
A cold pressed olive oil.
That's
Boom.
about a tablespoon.
There you go. All right.
And a 1/2 teaspoon of onion
Half a
powder.
teaspoon of onion powder coming up.
There you go,
Half
1/2 teaspoon.
teaspoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Let's see what's gonna happen here.
Teaspoon of what?
All right, so you do the thing and I'll do this thing.
Maybe.
Move your hand so they can see it.
Wow, look at that.
So that's the cheese.
It looks easy.
Ah! Let's see. Okay, let's scrape off the sides.
Why do
Thank
I have
you.
a problem opening
Because you
this
keep, don't.
thing? Wow.
All you gotta do is turn it this way. My hand is. Okay, so we just want to check it. Check it. See, this is what's looking like so far. But you could smooth this out. Now, the thing is, it's yellow because that nutritional yeast is really yellow. But what you can do is if you want it to be more like a ricotta cheese, you can keep it like this. But we're gonna do a smoother cheese, like
Is
more
this
of a
gonna be mozzarella,
mozzarella. Yeah, we're gonna smooth it out, and then then you can flatten it out and put it in the dehydrator, and it dries up some. But we have to taste this though, because we don't know what's going on with this. I can use some more salt. A little more salt. A lot more salt.
I was gonna say, okay.
All right.
For the,
Yeah, to give it some flavor,
mhm.
to wake up the flavor.
Good.
And since Anthony's a cheese man, I'll have him tell me what it needs. Maybe a little apple cider vinegar,
Really? And cheese?
because you want something that's fermented. Apple cider vinegar has fermentation.
I wouldn't put it in.
He hates apple
I don't
cider.
know if I put the baby on. Oh, look how smooth that is.
This is
Look at that. Very smooth. Are you looking for this?
yes, thank you. All right, so it's getting smoother.
Wow. Look at
Now
that.
let's taste it. Yeah, yeah,
It's good.
it's
It's real
tasting.
good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's tasting more cheesy.
Really?
So
And even the consistency of it. Nice.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm gonna do while we move on to the next project, I want to keep going with this. It needs to keep going. And what you could do is put it in the refrigerator, make it thicker. But look at that. This is, remember, we put the sea moss. See how awesome the sea moss is? Like the sea moss really pulls things together, gives it a nice fluffy texture. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is move this whole thing over here so we can have room and let it do its thing. And then we'll put the pizza together, all the pieces of the pizza together. And tomorrow you'll get to see the completion. So what was the next thing that we're supposed to be preparing now?
So that's it for the pizza.
Yeah, that's it
Oh,
for the pizza
okay.
for now.
Cashew cheese dip,
Nope.
veggie couscous, and my almost famous collard greens.
Uh-oh.
Bam!
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's do this. All right, so we already cut the collard greens-ish,
Take these out of the way.
kind of. So now all we have to do with the collard greens,
Ribbon them up.
ribbon them up. Yeah, where are they? All right. So Coach Cece was here earlier. She stemmed the collard greens for us. Thanks, Coach Cece.
You need to wipe this off.
Yeah. So that was really good. But I want to show you how to destem them. But you have to destem them. In fact, you know what happened? We went to the supermarket to get some collard greens. We usually go to the health food store. And when we,
Haven't they already been destemmed?
yeah, those are, but I have some not. Where are they? So they had the collard greens. They didn't have the, the regular collard greens in a bunch. They had the collard greens that were already chopped. They were all chopped up. And I was like, oh no, we can't use those because they didn't have the stem removed. You have to have your stems removed for these collard greens. Really important. I
And
can't.
You know how I do it? I take the collard green and I just
You stretch, you shuck it.
Yeah.
Right. So I use the knife. She uses
that I'm gonna cut these with.
She uses the tear technique.
It works as fast.
And you know what? Hey, that sounds awesome. Whatever works. So you're gonna roll it up like a cigar. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna do the sauce. Okay? Because it ain't gonna be nothing without the sauce.
Nothing without.
Okay? You're just gonna have some raw behind, tough skin collard greens. And your family's gonna look at you like you have two heads.
You're trying to kill me.
They,
These things are tough.
they're not going to like it. So what we gonna do, I'm on.
Oh.
You ever watch Cooking with the Neelys back in the day? Cooking with the awesome black couple from Tennessee.
I'm gonna go around here.
The husband, he used to say, instead of I'm going to, he would say, I'm on.
That's right.
I'm on.
I'm gonna go over here.
I'm looking for what's in there? Oh, more chia sauce? Okay.
What are you looking for?
A bowl.
What size?
Perfect. Okay, so while she's doing that over there, I don't want to be in her way,
Where am
but I
gonna
want to
put
show you.
this one stick?
Okay.
We put it one stick. You got another big bowl?
Yep,
There we go.
another big bowl
Put it right over here.
right there. Okay, so while she's doing that, I need my recipe so I can remember. I should know this like with like the back of my hand. But we're gonna make the special collard green sauce.
Woo! Woo!
Yes, it's exciting. So the first thing we need is what, Coach Denise?
The first thing we need is a half a cup of organic cold pressed olive oil.
Okay,
Right there,
olive oil.
right there.
Here we go. So we're gonna look at the olive oil. Half a cup.
Half a cup.
You know what my half a cup is,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
This is my half a cup.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Yeah.
And then some.
About a half cup. We need a quarter cup of sesame oil.
Toasted sesame,
Quarter cup.
right there. It says balsamic vinegar, but
It's
it's
toasted sesame.
toasted sesame. Here we go.
Quarter cup of that.
Quarter cup of that.
Yeah. About everything you got in there.
That's it.
A quarter inch of fresh
Ginger.
and 3 garlic cloves.
All right. So you cut the ginger for us
Ginger
right
there.
here. So I showed her how to use a spoon to cut the ginger.
Want more than that?
Just chop it up a little bit. Lay it flat.
I mean, usually I'll just like smash it.
You do your thing, girl. Do it.
I usually do this,
Do it.
smash it up.
You know how to do it. All right. Beautiful. Is this enough? Yeah, this should be good.
Okay, then you need 3
The
garlic
fresh,
cloves.
okay, garlic cloves.
I'll
Where
put
they
'em
go?
over there.
Oh, garlic cloves.
3.
3. Okay.
A quarter cup of Bragg liquid aminos. Where's your Bragg? Bam, here we go.
Yep.
I know you're gonna do that the way you do it.
You know it. It's like boom, boom, bam.
An 1/8 cup of maple syrup.
Maple syrup. There you go. You know, like this is if you 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 can't be afraid of the spices. You gotta kick it up. Kick it up.
Kick it up.
Don't be scared.
Be scared.
That's right.
Scared money don't make no money.
Scared cooks don't make no good food.
Scared cooks don't make no food at all.
Uh-huh. Yes. So we got that. Oh, a little
An 1/8 of
maple.
a cup of maple syrup. An 1/8 of a cup of apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar.
Go. With the
Now you're
butter.
gonna shake it. You know what the mother is?
No, I never really understood what the mother.
Oh, I shook the mother down.
Shook the mother
Anyway.
down. You shook the mother down.
I shook the mother down. But the mother is all of those like all of the what do you call fibrous stuff that's at the bottom. And that's really all of the enzymes, all of the
Ah,
microorganisms.
that's why you have to shake it up.
Yeah, that's why they call it the mother because it has microorganisms in there.
Cup.
1/8 of a cup, yeah.
2 to 4 dashes of crushed red pepper.
All right,
You got red
let's
pepper?
see. Yeah, I do. I just listen. Red pepper. Where's my red pepper? I have to get,
Large.
it's in a large container right there behind the garam masala. Yep, there you go. All right. Anything else?
Quarter cup of nutritional yeast.
Quarter cup of nutritional yeast. Yeah, I usually buy the yeast loose. It's cheaper, but when you don't have that luxury, just buy it like this.
Yep.
Quarter of a cup.
Quarter of a cup. And lastly, a teaspoon each of
Garlic
garlic,
powder,
onion powder,
onion
and ginger
powder, and ginger powder. So you notice we put fresh garlic, we put fresh ginger.
Where's your
but-
ginger powder?
It's in there behind some of that other stuff, behind the curry and all that. So even though we have the other fresh herbs, the fresh spices and all, we also use the powder. Anybody know why we use both? Huh. Anybody knows?
No,
Who said that so cute?
So
That's
Angela,
Sasha.
She said no. Yeah, because because the powdered spice is more intense. So you have that deeper flavor. It's a deeper depth of flavor. But the fresh gives you the pop, right? So you want it to pop in your mouth. So you do fresh garlic, fresh ginger. So you gotta do both.
Now,
Yeah,
you don't have flaxseed on here, but are you adding flaxseed in it?
No, I don't add flaxseed.
Oh, okay.
No, but you're making me think. Why'd you say that?
I think it's on the other one in the cookbook.
Yeah, I don't add flaxseed, but wait a minute. What
But
do
I
I
think you were saying if you wanted to make it like a gravy,
make it thicker?
yeah, you would add flaxseed.
Yeah.
I don't put none in mine either.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. If you ever want to make anything thicker, you have several options in the raw food world. You can use psyllium husk, which also helps aid in your digestion, like moving things along. Psyllium husk, of course, you saw me use the what do you call it? The moss, the sea moss. You can use that. You can also use chia seed, chia seeds, but that gives it like a whole different texture. But you can also use flax seeds. Those are all different ways you can thicken up anything. Yeah, I'll put that in the freezer somewhere. Okay. All right. So Denise is still rolling. See, Denise is a little thicker. I roll mine. I cut mine a little. Thank you. A little thinner than the way she cuts hers. Well, you know, it's easier for me right now because I'm getting a lot of dental work done. So the finer anything is, easier to chew. It's better for me. But all right, we're just about at the home stretch of some of this stuff here. Any questions? Any comments? No questions?
I just wish I was up there to eat that pizza tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Save them for tomorrow. Because you'll probably think of stuff afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you, my love. So I have to thank my beloved. He's so patient in this hot kitchen. Helping a sister out. Power to the Black brothers. Yes. I appreciate it. All right.
Please tell me I can take one of these collard greens home.
Denise wants to know if she could take some of these collard greens home.
Please tell me I can take some home.
They ain't even ready yet. And she's talking about she wants to take some home.
Because I know what they're gonna taste like. I understand the assignment.
And the television assignment. Yes, I hear you. It's like, I wish I can.
I say that once you eat a raw collard green, you will never want to cook collard green ever again, and I don't.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the sauteed collard greens, but I don't think I ever want to boil them in the pan ever again.
Right, to cook them to death.
Yeah, I never want to do that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think this is straight. Straight on there. Yeah, limp ends. Oh, I know what you mean.
All the nutrients cooked up out of it.
Cooked it. And do you know they're still putting fat back in collard greens down south?
Up north.
That's what they
Up
put
north?
too. They put them
Like,
down there too.
are you kidding? I didn't think anybody used fat back still.
No, people are still using that. Are you kidding me?
When I was in Alabama last month, I was like,
Still using fat.
ew.
Ham, hot. Pork shoulder.
Yeah, but the fat back is just,
I know.
That's just like the.
it's just,
You ain't got nothing else.
oh my God. Okay, so what I just did, so I just did the sauce, but you know what? We got a lot of collard greens, so we're gonna have to make some more sauce.
Make more sauce.
Oh,
This
thank
is a
you.
lot of collard greens.
Yeah, can you open that, my love? Okay, so we're going to have to make some more collard greens. It's a little greasy, but there's still some grace on it.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, let me get this angle on these collards before you put that on there. Okay, we're ready.
Okay, so I'm
Look
gonna
at
put some sauce in here.
that. Oh, yeah, you're definitely gonna need more sauce in there.
I know.
Want me to start massaging it?
You don't mind?
Nope.
Oh, you're good. See, I don't like put.
That's the numbers.
Oh,
See, I'm gonna zip my lip and just do what I'm supposed to do here.
I don't mind the massage. I just don't like putting my hands on. Some people like it. It's like therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very soothing. But yeah, you're right. We're gonna need more.
Coach Denise,
Yes.
when you make your collard greens,
I just realized those are those collard greens you guys are making, right?
yeah.
Oh, because I was thinking it was a salad. I said, no, wait, that's not a salad.
You thought it was salad?
Salad. Although
I
these
thought it was, but no.
salad, they go well with a salad.
So what are you doing? You're marinated inside of the juices that you just made?
Yes.
Or you just washing it? What are you?
But
I'm just
massage.
massaging the sauce into
Ah.
the greens.
Now, did I hear correctly that we could come by tomorrow and get a little sample of everything?
Well, if you're local, you can.
Okay, I will.
If you're local, you can. Yeah, because back in the day, this little
Well, I'm
kitchen.
afraid I'm not local.
Oh, I know. Sorry.
Well, Jacqueline, that gives you a good reason to hook these things up in your house. Hook
Yeah.
them up.
Yes, you can do it. You can do
You
it,
can do
Jacqueline.
this.
You can do it.
Collard greens to make are really easy.
Yeah, they are really easy. They are. I mean, you saw it. It's just more complicated because the way we have things set up in the kitchen right now.
Right.
But what's
But
the next step after you marinate it and do all that? You have
Yeah,
to-
just let it sit in the refrigerator.
Oh, no dehydrator.
No, you don't need a dehydrator for this one.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't need a dehydrator.
Look at that.
And it starts to break down.
And they already start to break down.
Yeah, it's starting to break down and it's not even that much.
No.
So this time I'm gonna put some dates. We never found those dates, right? If you're ever in
Yeah,
the,
they're big right here.
where?
Well, they were here. There they go. You got some majors right here. But I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll take the, oh. All right, let me get it.
So you can get them.
All right, let me get to the jewel dates over here. Yeah, because I just want to make it a little thicker this time. Thicken it up a little bit. So this time I'm gonna add a little medjool dates in the sauce. Right? So instead of putting the maple, I'm gonna put the medjool dates in the sauce this time. Right? And then I just need the nutritional yeast in there. Did I put nutritional yeast? Did I?
Yes.
Oh,
You saw me put nutrition. No, not the second time I didn't.
oh no, the first time, yes.
Okay, yeah. So the second time,
so did you
Second-
add the ginger powder and the garlic and the onion powder?
and you notice I'm using the Vitamix, the NutriBullet.
Nutrable, yeah.
NutriBullet.
All right, so let's just taste the salt. See how much it's thicker, right?
Oh, I gotta wash my hands now. So I just. Ooh.
Ooh,
Mm,
wow,
wow.
wow.
Okay.
Woo,
Ooh-wee.
woo. Good,
Oh, y'all wrong for that noise.
good. Woo. Oh my, see that, that's what I'm talking about. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
woo,
That's serious. You jumping up and down.
See, it had a little extra salt in it, but I think it's okay because we have so much greens.
This is a lot of green.
Woo! There's gonna be some good collard greens. Good Lord.
Good. Googla moogla.
Ah,
There's
I
gravy
can't
to
stop
say.
eating this sauce. This is gravy right here. This
Yeah,
is some
that
gravy.
looks gravy, like gravy.
This is gravy.
It's like
Yeah.
turkey gravy.
Almost, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Turkey
Y'all-
gravy is right like that. Y'all just don't even understand what's going on over here.
I'm sorry to be so dramatic.
Mhm.
Well, I think I'm gonna make that the first thing I make, because with all them dramatics. in the background.
Girl,
Collard greens.
girl,
Okay, I'm about to do a taste test.
already?
Yeah. Oh God, no. I can't
Let me,
stand it.
let me taste it.
Hey, oh, he knows like they're steak.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Mm. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna break down. Right now, they still look raw. But
About an hour from
in a
now,
few
they-
hours,
Mhm.
they're gonna keep breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. And that's what you want. So while she's finishing that, let me set up for the couscous and make the couscous. Mm. Mm. Oh my gosh.
This is good. This is ready to go into the refrigerator now.
Okay. So she said, ready to go into the
Ready to
fridge.
go into the refrigerator.
So we're gonna put that in the refrigerator. We're gonna do the couscous because I love the couscous is a great transitional dish because
so well with the collard greens.
yeah,
I
it-
love
it-
collard greens.
it does work well with collard greens. So I don't know if you can reach the couscous over there,
Where
Coach.
is it?
It's in the
It's
box.
right next to the, I don't know, because it's right next to the, let me get
Oh, wait, I can get it. You talking about this right here?
it. Easy. All right. Okay, so that's the couscous. I need this one here. All right, so bowl. We got so much stuff all over the place. My bowl's over there, but I'm scared to go over there. Let's see. Oops. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
Want to make it in this color? You want a top?
Yeah, I better have a top. So I'll use this. Can you pass that over there? Grab that over there, Coach. Okay, so do you have the cup size measuring cup?
Right here.
All right, so we're gonna
Put
pour.
a little bit of water in it. You might
Oh,
pour that
shoot,
out,
it has water in it.
Dry it off.
Yeah. Because we need to do 1 cup. This is 1 cup, right? 1 cup of couscous.
Actually, there's no measurements.
Okay, I didn't put any measurements. All right, I didn't put any measurements. I'm sorry. So what it is 1 part couscous. Right, so that's your couscous.
What's her number? Last
1
phone
part.
number.
Are you having some too? Okay, oh, and I know Coach, I know, I better do 2. Because I think I'm gonna have some company over here tomorrow.
Yeah,
right.
922 what?
95
Okay,
04.
all right. Could you put some water in there? I just wanna meet some people here. Okay, all righty. So we're gonna do 1 cup. Well, I did 2 cups.
Got 2 cups
2 cups
of couscous.
of couscous. So we need 2 cups water. Right, so
Probably gonna need more. than
it's
2
pretty
cups.
much 1 to 1 generally. You don't do 1 to 1?
Yeah, I do. I usually like to do it so it just covers it. Like, I
Exactly.
covered it.
And that covered it, right? So now let's get the spices. So we need the garlic powder,
Powder.
onion powder,
Onion powder.
curry. The curry's right over there. Onion powder. We need,
Gonna put turmeric in it?
yeah, I like to put turmeric in there. It gives it more, you see, I just put curry in there. Little curry. And the turmeric, well, first of all, it's good for your joints and everything, but it's also a pretty color.
Is it onion and garlic powder?
I did the onion and put the garlic, and then we put the black liquid aminos. Oh, and I need to put the peas and carrots. I mean, the peas and stuff. Okay. Shoot. I need
How
to
much
turn
do we
on that.
put in?
I need to turn
'Cause
that
I
on.
usually do like 1, 2. You wanna put more?
3.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
You
is that
put
oven
any
that's
garlic-
on?
I mean,
It has water in it, baby?
you gonna put
okay.
any olive oil in it?
No,
Okay.
no olive oil. Okay. All righty. So some straight old fashioned peas and carrots. Not peas and carrots, peas and corn. So some frozen corn, some frozen peas. But what I like to do, thank you. What I like to do is take my corn and my peas. Right? Go ahead. I need to open that up.
It's not open. Got a scissor?
What happened to the scissor? So what I do is take the peas and the corn and I put some hot water over it. That's good. That's good. Wow,
Yeah, I know you didn't mean for that much to come out of
I
it.
didn't mean for that much. I'm putting some of it back. That's good. All right, so now what we gotta do is we gotta stir this up because we're not doing that right now. So we're gonna stir this up right quick. Thank you. So it's so nice to have the stuff already clean.
Ooh, you
Go
might
ahead,
need more water.
stir it up.
It's like you're gonna need more water.
No, we don't. She says yes, I say no. Let's see. Okay, let me get it on this side. Because what happens is it already started swelling up. That's why it looks like this. It already started swelling, but we'll see, because it may need, she may be right, it may need a little more water. But
Just a tad,
just a tad, because you don't want to overwater this.
right.
So it really should be equal parts, but
Okay, that's right.
sometimes it just seems like your instinct says you need more water. And if your instinct says you need more water, just put a little more water. A little more.
Is that the couscous?
That's
That's
a,
a couscous
yeah. That's the couscous.
with the for the top.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's so nice to have so much support.
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead. I think that's gonna do it too. Awesome. So now what we do is we just, because you generally you do it really fast. You just stir it fast and then you cover it.
It up.
But we're like, I don't know, massaging it and doing whatever.
It looks good.
Okay.
Looks good.
You do a taste test or not?
No, because we need to just, we need
It
to
needs to sit.
put it aside. And let's work on what's gonna go in there. Okay, so we got the peas and carrots,
You're gonna grate it down?
I mean peas and corn. And then we're gonna put the carrot. All right. So we got the carrot. We're gonna wash the carrot.
That carrots out your garden?
What you say, honey? Oh, no, I wish
What'd you say?
they come from the garden. I sure enough wish it did. No. This
For your grater?
Like,
just enough to,
Cover it.
covered?
Yep.
that's good. Perfect. Oh.
Perfect.
All right, so now, Coach Denise, if you can grade the carrots with the big grater. Oh, sorry. Oh, gosh. So we're gonna just put it on the side, yeah, for now.
What side?
The
how
big grater,
The
the
big one right here?
Yeah. Watch your hands, though, be careful.
I'm good.
Do it on an angle.
Don't you get your top for it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta cover up that, peanut pudding too.
Yeah,
The plant-based is a lot of physical work.
You doing this whole carrot?
She says a lot of physical work.
Yeah, but it's very relaxing.
Yeah,
Believe it or
you can
not.
turn it the other way now. So
I agree. Since I have limited energy, I set myself up and I set my watch up for that to be my workout. Because it is work.
right, right. And you know, you put on something good, or you start saying your affirmations, your prayers. Let's see, Coach Shanique, I think that's
You
good.
got enough?
Yeah.
What
Is
do you
it?
think?
Let's see. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I think it's okay. All right. How's the couscous coming? Needs a little more time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely puffing up.
But it needs a little more
A little
time.
bit more time though.
Okay, so we're gonna strain the peas and carrots, and then put peas and corn, and then put the carrots in there with the corn.
Okay, where's your
Strainer.
pasta?
Put the corn. Just put the carrots in there with the other.
Veggies?
Yeah.
Good color.
Yeah. I wanna make sure those things are ready.
Ready to do what it do.
It is ready. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Oh, you're over here now. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Let me go over here then to show you.
Yeah,
Yeah, how do you know when it's ready?
it puffs up. And you can also put your hand, like your fingers in it. If it's soft, then you know.
Nice.
Eat a few grains of it. I just think.
Right. So you see that? Okay. So, oh, so we're over there. We're not over here anymore.
Come back.
Okay. He's coming back. All right. So I don't know if y'all can see.
Might have to bring the down a little bit.
Yeah. Let me move this out the way first, though. 1 second. Got too much stuff over here. Throw that in the garbage. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you can see me over here. I'm gonna move it down.
There it is. There you go.
So
Add the veggies in the piece. Serve. Eat with your collard greens. That looks
there you go.
so nice.
And you can take this to your Labor Day event while everybody's eating those ribs and really getting ready, getting that first or second level of fat and what else they got going on before the holidays. They're gonna like really kick it over for Labor Day, and you'll be eating clean.
And I guarantee if you got a plate
And
of
mean.
those collard greens with that couscous and the salad next to it, and you tear it up, they're gonna be like, "What is she eating over there?" Because she is tearing it up. Because that's how good it is. Look at that. That looks so pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're gonna now you make so I made extra, right? Because like I said, I know I'm gonna have some company. But
15 minutes till 6.
But here's the thing, you can make even half of this and you'll have it for the whole week. And like for me, I would go in there and I would take some more of my basil, or I would take some of my basil flowers and I would just sprinkle some basil flowers in here. Just for another degree of awesomeness. Right? Okay, so you got that. All right. Done. Fisher.
You want to put them over here or in the refrigerator?
I'll put up there for now, and we'll put everything in the fridge afterwards. Okay, so let's go straight into what do we have here? Where's my book?
It's over here.
Oh, can you pass me my book? Thank you. All right, so I wanted to do really quick. Oh, I wanted to do the pad thai. I wanted to do the pad thai. Or what would you prefer? The pad thai, the falafel balls, or the Sun Burgers? Tell me.
Sun burger.
Okay, we got one Sun Burger. Anybody else? Hello?
To the burger.
You said Sun Burger? That was
Yeah, to
Naja.
the sun burger.
Oh, so the Sun Burger basically is walnuts or pecans, but walnuts are cheaper than pecans. We need some onion, we need some carrots, we need some zucchini, and we need some mushrooms. So the mushrooms, yeah, the mushrooms are important. All right, so we're gonna gather up, we're gonna gather up all the ingredients. While we're gathering up all the ingredients, I'm gonna turn that back on and put it on here, spread it out.
Need an overhead?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Where's the spatula?
All right. Spread it out. Okay, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oopsie, what's that one? All right. Okay, so we're gonna spread the cheese out and put it in the dehydrator because we want it to harden up. Turn it this, can you? All right. All right, move your hand a little bit.
Anthony, can you grab this for me?
Wait,
Wait.
there's about too much cheese in here.
What y'all doing, Willis? To the cheese.
Oh, I'm putting it in the dehydrator
Oh,
so I can make it harder, so I can put it on a pizza. So,
wow. Can't wait to see it.
yeah, you get to see it in person, which is wonderful. All right. Oh, wait. Now you can do the same thing with this cheese. You can put probiotics in the cheese and then let it sit overnight out, in the warm. And it will start to develop cultures. I mean, because cheese is just nothing but sour milk, right? You're just making your own. That's all. That's all it is. Boom and boom. So that's it. Now we can get this in the dehydrator.
That was awesome.
I know. Really is good.
The great thing about this, like, because you can buy like vegan cheese and stuff like that, but it's still processed, and that's what you're trying to get away from. So when you do it yourself, this is way better.
Right. That is the whole point right there, Vera. That's the whole point right there. All right, that's good. All right, so we'll put that in the dehydrator. I'm gonna have to turn this dehydrator on soon.
Well, got 5 more minutes, so.
All right. Are you okay? Let me do it. All that. Thank you. All right. So the reason why you want to soak your nuts, there's a couple of reasons. One reason is because it softens them and makes them more like, it gives it more of a texture of meat once it's processed. Sorry, so. The other reason is because, so the nuts has enzymes in it. And of course, as we said, the enzymes is what gives you the life, gives the food life. So when you soak them, I'm gonna soak them for a couple minutes. When you soak them, you wake up the enzyme inhibitors. And certain nuts, they actually grow tails. Like if you soak a, what is it? Cashew, you'll see a little tail start to grow, which means they're growing. No. Can you cut the head off of this?
Cut it at a crazy angle.
You can put everything in here. Shove it in there.
Oh, tight. Need more mushrooms?
Yeah.
Need rustic onion?
No. That should do it. Woo! Made me want to cry.
Yes, 'cause my eyes are tearing up too.
Oh
man.
my
Ooh,
God.
onion.
My eyes are like, oh my God.
Okay, what about the cabbage?
Oh, yeah, shoot.
And a half an organic green bell pepper.
Oh. Okay, cabbage. We got red cabbage.
Do you have chili powder?
Okay, all of those powders like that. Let's see,
Yeah, whatever.
they're over there. Okay. I just gotta cut this. All right, so you see, I'm doing this because it's gonna make it easier to have all of the ingredients like mashed together for your burger. Yeah, that's good. Right, okay, let me take the top off. You know what, do another one. Yeah,
Way on.
let me see.
I'll do as far as.
Back. Okay, so we got the red cabbage here. Okay, now just cut it this way so it can fit in the. Just, okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right,
I'm not doing nothing
This
until I'm
one.
loaded.
okay, sorry,
No, very smart.
smarter than we are.
I ain't doing that.
Can't hurt.
It doesn't want you to hurt yourself.
Right, so you're gonna add cabbage in there?
We did, that's.
Oh, you did? What about the pepper? Oh, it says green bell pepper, not red.
You know what? You can put whatever you want to put, or you don't have to put what you
Any
don't
at
want to
all.
put. Right.
All right, so you need chili pepper, cardamom powder,
Yeah, it's gonna
coriander.
get the spices. Let's move this out of the way here.
Okay,
Oh,
now where are
oh, you know what? I
Definitely
got
make me hungry.
Awesome.
She-
And yeah,
she
big
can
bowl.
go.
You don't like the seaweed. The
Oh.
seaweed is great for your joints and everything. Seriously though, the moss, if you have any joint issues, it's the joint.
It's the joint.
It's a,
Like to join it?
it's a joint for joint issues, man. Drop it in there. Drop it.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yep. And wipe and scoop it out. Where's the scoop?
So
Oh,
ladies,
boy.
what is this called that you're making?
This is, we're making,
Hamburger.
some burgers. We're making raw vegan burgers.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
That's funny.
fascinating.
Wow.
What would I do without you? I don't know. I don't want to know.
Mhm. Raw vegan burgers, you say?
Yeah,
man.
some burgers, girl. I know you can't tell right now, but just wait.
Mm, mm.
Oh, put it back on here?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna also put some of those sun-dried tomatoes in here. Okay, so let's put the sun-dried tomatoes in here too.
How many of them do you want?
3. Oh, sorry. Okay, 3. All right, awesome. Now where's the top? Here it is. Here we go.
You want to add the, spice in there,
So who?
spices?
Yeah, you could add them in there.
Okay, but I just need to find it.
Oh, around.
got
What are you
jars.
talking about? Here, look, here, garlic powder, onion powder, right
Yeah,
there.
but you need, chili powder, cardamom, coriander, sage, caraway, cumin.
Over there.
There's no label on it.
I know, I don't have any labels on stuff. Okay, let's see. Can we help her find the spices? Tell me what these are here, Silver. Okay, okay, now you want to put sage because sage,
Cumin is here,
okay, sage gives you that meaty taste.
more like poultry.
Yeah, it does give
Oh,
you
yeah,
a
that's what we
poultry.
put in the
It does give
soup.
you the poultry, but it still gives you that concept of meat, that feeling of meat.
How much I need of it?
That's good.
That one, that's the cumin?
Yeah. Now, see,
Cumin and not, cayenne.
now, see, I just want to show you this.
The cumin you had.
See?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
See how this starting to look like meat ish?
Yep. It does.
Ish? Okay. So,
So
and
we
I'll
got,
probably,
Paprika.
coriander,
can use a little
cardamom, and some chili powder.
it's over there. Oh, you see that, with the black top, that squatty thing? Yeah,
Yes.
I love that spice.
What is it?
I got-
Steak
That's
blend?
steak blend.
I got that from, Anthony bought it from Stop and Shop. I like the spices in there.
I gotta find that.
It's really
I
good.
know.
Should have got it the last time I went shopping.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it on the side because I'm gonna get it. Yeah. Okay, now, are you open to using your fingers?
Yep.
Right, so
Right now?
mix it up. So I'll probably have to put some more walnuts in there.
Feels like it needs some kind of binder.
Yeah.
See, I couldn't mix that with my hands because I'd be too tempted to eat it.
That's
What
funny.
makes you think I'm not?
Uh-huh.
I truly will be tasting all the while I'm making it.
Oh, yeah, here's another one.
Yeah, go down.
That's the fun of it. It's okay. They tasted it. You seen them.
Yeah, it looks like you might need a binder.
Did you truly
Yeah.
get me a plate and sit?
Yeah.
All of that stuff
So
looks really
the thing
good.
is, it's the mushrooms really help to give it the meatiness too. So I'll probably add
Ooh,
some more
mushrooms
I'll
too.
probably add some more mushrooms and I'll add some more
I
nuts.
love mushrooms. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you do? Well, then you'll really like
Great
this.
with that.
All right, so listen, guys, I'm going to finish this up.
Grind up.
I'm gonna finish this up. Yeah, I probably should have grinded up more. And you know what? I probably will just take all of this and put
Put
it
it
in the
back in the food processor.
maybe, but I'll probably just add some more stuff to make it bind.
Yeah, because it needs a binder.
Right, so I'll do that. But I want to be respectful of your time, so we're gonna come back tomorrow and show you some things because I wanted to take the butternut squash and show you how to turn that into a pasta and make the pad thai. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna turn it into a pasta and we're gonna make pad thai tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow, but yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna turn this back over so that I can talk to them for a
Talk to
second.
them face to face.
Yeah, I wanna close out.
Looking good. Yeah, that's looking good though.
Oh, awesome. So we're gonna close out. You see, look at me. You see I'm sweating?
Yeah, we all sweating in
I'm
here.
hot up in here.
It's hot in her.
Oh, it's hot. So anywho, we'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Go into the Facebook group. All of your things are in there. You need to download your check sheet. You need to download your affirmations, your declaration. That's important because you want to be saying that every day. And if you could say it in the morning and say it at night, you may win the prize, the nice gift. Okay, because we're gonna have a winner. It's those who are consistent starting tomorrow. So read your affirmations and everything, okay? What else are you printing out? You're printing out your If you want to, the poster I have, you can print that
That's
out.
from the HW site, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
all right. All right, ladies, so we'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, have a
Oh,
good
you're
one, you
welcome. It was
guys.
awesome.
Bye.
You
See you
too.
guys.